My name is Tom Smart. I'm the Executive Director of the McMichael Canadian Art Collection. I'm also the curator of the exhibition Miller Brittain, When the Stars Threw Down Their Spears, an exhibition that was organized by the Beaverbrook Art Gallery in Fredericton, New Brunswick. And accompanying the exhibition is a book that I wrote of the same title that was published by the Beaverbrook Art Gallery and Goose Lane Editions. Miller Brittain is almost a forgotten figure in Canadian art. He painted in the shadow of the group of seven through the 30s, the 40s, and the 50s. He painted in a number of different styles. In fact, the basis of his painting isn't even painting, it's drawing. He learned his craft as a very young man at the Art Students League in the early part of the 1930s, at a very dynamic time at the Art Students League when there were a number of different schools of thought, a number of different painters, a number of different artists teaching the young students. After Miller Brittain finished his studies at the Art Students League in New York, the Great Depression hit, and like many artists of his generation, he returned home, and home for him was St. John. He couldn't stop becoming an artist, though, and so he painted the people that he saw around him, street urchins, the poverty that he saw, the hardship on the people. And this culminated in a series of very beautiful drawings, very accusatory drawings, very important drawings, political drawings for the tuberculosis hospital. These drawings lay the blame for tuberculosis squarely at the feet of poverty. He claims that poverty was the cause of tuberculosis. Then he joined the war. He became a member of the Royal Canadian Air Force. He became a bomb aimer and served overseas out of Yorkshire, England on a bomber crew. This was a very important and influential time of his life, and it affected him very deeply. He became a hero. He was given a very high distinguished award as a soldier, and became a war artist. And so he just started to describe his experiences, first in a series of rather narrative drawings, the life of someone who was a member of a bomber team. But it was life in the barracks. War was off stage. His most important painting of the time was, in fact, a painting of a city as it was being bombed. The searchlights from the ground trying to pick out the planes, the flak, the various flares that are dropped by the planes, and of course the bombs that are destroying the city. When he returned to St. John, when he was discharged from the Air Force, he changed his style and his subject matter completely, and he became a religious. He interpreted religious paintings or religious subjects in very beautiful drawings and pastels. Several commercial art galleries in New York City chose to represent him and to show some of his drawings and pastels and some of his paintings to an American market. And he became very popular. They're very widely collected. And in fact, by the early 1950s, it appeared as if Miller Brittain was on his way to international renown, not only in Canada and America, but in some European countries as well. His painting changed style again, and it became more figurative. He always used the figure to express aggressive emotions, deeply personal emotions, themes of alienation, themes of melancholy and distress. They're very disturbing drawings and paintings to look at, but nevertheless the figure was often surrounded by shafts of light, by bursts of explosions. And indeed, in some ways, this reflects his war experience as well. The motif is common if you look back at his war paintings. It also shows that he was influenced by the writing of the mystic poet, engraver, and painter William Blake. Blake was a very important influence to him, not only for expressing a spiritual aspect of experience, but also for giving him this motif of the star and the spear. It's a line that comes from Blake's poem, The Tiger. It was a very happy time for him. He married and had a family, but it was short-lived. His wife died tragically only a very short time after they were married, and he never really recovered from it. And he chose to chart his path, the path literally to hell, as an artist, to draw on the motifs that he developed from the very early part of his career, draw on the motifs that he developed as a war artist, and after, to track his life as he explored the depths of depression and the heights of ecstasy. The book deals with the entire life of Miller Brittain, from his very earliest training in St. John, New Brunswick, right through to the time of his death and in some ways the reception of his work after his death. The book was co-published by the Beaverbrook Art Gallery and Goose Lane Editions, both of Fredericton, New Brunswick.